Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing the rear window on our 2021 RAV4. It got hit by a rock about a week ago and shattered. Luckily the glass didn't come flying inside due to us having an aftermarket window tint installed. So as you can see out here on the exterior, I used some clear tape just to make sure that the window was intact while we were waiting on the glass to arrive. I couldn't find anything online or any videos online that showed how to remove these. So we're going to go ahead and do that today. We're going to use our normal pry tools that we've featured on the channel before. We'll go ahead and leave another link in the description to Amazon. We're not affiliated with anybody, so we don't get anything off of it. It's just the tools that we've found that work the best for us. And then we'll get going. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop our switch panel here off. Okay, so we pop this loose. Go ahead and release the tab. We put in the lighted switches on our past videos. These things are still going great, no problems with them. And then also part of our install from earlier, we did a lighted bowl for accent lights. So we're going to have to disconnect that as well. Lit here, so it's got a blue LED. If you do not have these, this will just be a panel that pops off with no wires attached to it. So we're just going to disconnect. Trying to remember where. Okay. All right. I'll just pull those up and through. And like I said, if you don't have the lighted bowls, then you won't need to do this. Okay. So the next part is going to be this panel here. And right under here, there's a little opening. We'll start there. Pop. Just gonna pull. And pull back. These do have these forward running clips. So whenever we reinstall these, they'll slide in first and then everything will pop back in. But as you're pulling it apart, you'll have to slide this back. So don't just pull straight off. You'll have to slide that back. Now we want to remove the 3 screws. There's one here, one in here, one in here. That should be the 3 screws that are actually fastening this door panel to the door, and the rest should be clips. These 3 are the Phillips heads. Okay, so now that we've got these 3 loose or out, we'll go ahead and start loose. Okay, now that we've got the panel off, that was just all pull-in. It's got these pins. I had to grab a light, but so you guys can see better. These are just clipped in here. Just pop that one, and there goes your door. Your whole door handle. So you can go ahead and set this aside. So, got our vapor barrier here. This is just to keep any kind of moisture from getting inside the car. So, just going to try and pry on this. Okay, so we're going to pull this vapor barrier off. You don't want to yank on it because you don't want to make the plastic get stretched out. Just gently pull on it. As you can tell, it's still warm here. I'm going to slide our assembly back through this hole here. And that's the factory hole they use. Okay, so here's the bottom of our broken window. That's all that's left attached. So there are 2 bolts that go through these. There's on the bottom of the windows, there's these 2. On the bottom of the window, there are these 2 plastic brackets that are clamped into the window from the factory. So that's kind of where we're going to bolt the new window into. And normally this would be up higher. We bumped the window down yesterday, which kind of expedited our repair, since the window is basically just hanging in the frame by sheer, I don't know, will, I guess. There's nothing mechanical holding it in place. It's basically just tent and tape. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take the bolts off of this and get those out of the way, and then we're going to continue disassembling to get it ready for the window to come all the way out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go ahead and roll the window down so that we can remove the bolt here and the bolt that's hidden on this side behind there, and this access hole right here is, I believe, exactly for that. Just pop that out. Okay, go ahead and roll it down. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove the 2 bolts. Hopefully this doesn't spin. Just trying not to cut myself. Okay, got that side out. Should be wearing gloves. Okay, so now at this point, so we've unbolted the bottom part of what was left of the window. This needs to get out of the way. So normally this window would go down and then we could start to disassemble this back piece so that we could get this window out. Obviously that is a problem because there's nothing to roll down anymore. So I'm going to try and slide this down. This is either going to work or it's going to be a catastrophe. So again, the tent that we had installed whenever we first bought the car, it's holding it. Whenever it originally, when the rock hit it from the outside, it splintered and broke like safety glass is supposed to. So there's not big, huge shards coming at you, so it's safety glass. But this tent has basically kept it glued together like tape, which allowed us to drive home with no problems. And then once we got home, since I knew the window was going to be about a week out, I went ahead and just used clear packing tape on the exterior here, so that I don't know if it would push out. I don't know. It felt like that was the right thing to do. So we've been driving like this and it's been fine. But anyway, so what I'm going to try and do is just slide this down. It may break in pieces. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But we have to slide this down. We have to take our vent, like rain vent, off. And then now we got to get this window out. So we'll see how that goes. So the top of the glass almost pushed out, clearing that. Okay, so we haven't taped this part yet. I'm going to go ahead and run some tape. I don't think you need to see me doing it, but we'll do that and we'll get right back with it. Okay, so we put an extra layer of tape across the top and then rolled it over. Try and keep as much glass intact. It's still in these channels on each side. It's still going to be broken glass. It's probably why it's not moving so well. And then also this bottom part that's inside is still going to also have glass that has no tape or window tint on it. Go ahead. Okay. All right, so we got our rain vent. Got that out, so now we've got a straight shot. Pull this out. Well, we'll have to do it now, we'll have to do it later. So I guess since it's already up, I'll go ahead. I'm just gonna kind of fold this and then just kind of pull it out. We wouldn't be able to do this if the window was solid. This back window and this rail needs to be removed to install it, but this way this will have to travel less to come out. Okay, so I'm just going to go throw this away, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so just to recap, since the window was already broken, just shattered, we went ahead and just pulled it out instead of continuing to run it down the channel and then pulling it out later. Right now we're going to go ahead, since we're going to have broken glass inside this channel and this channel and probably this upper channel, this lower, it's going to be glass everywhere. We're going to go ahead and vacuum this out, wipe it down, clean it, vacuum inside the door, and make sure we get as much glass out as we can before we disassemble this and then do the installation of the new glass. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vacuum out this with a crevice tool. I've also got a little, I don't even know what this is or where it came from, but it'll fit down on the channel and kind of scrape things away. So there's glass down behind in here, so actually we are going to have to remove all the rubber. So guess we'll go ahead and clean up what we can on the exterior that we can get to that's easy, and then I'm going to go ahead and start pulling this window, and then we'll just deal with it and go as deep as we have to make sure that the glass is out of the rubber so that it's smooth with the new glass. So we've got as much glass vacuumed out in the door as we can. We pulled the weather stripping, the molding around. So now that the molding is out, we're going to go ahead and clean inside here. There's still glass stuck, you can see. So we're going to go ahead and get as much of this as we can out. And we'll either film it or put it on a timeline, I'm not exactly sure. But we're just going to get as much of it out as we can and vacuum it as we go. And we've got the lower piece and the two side pieces. And then we'll be ready to work on getting this removed. So we've got everything vacuumed out that can be, all the window channels. You open them up all the way. I think we shot some video of that. So next that needs to come out is this window pillar here for our small glass. So it's going to be this bolt, these are 10 millimeters, the same as we use to do the glass frame. And there's also a Phillips screw here at the top, so I have to pull that out as well. And then again, at the end, we'll go back through, double check all of our seals that everything's pushed in the right places. It's always good to have a little flashlight that you can, especially if you're dealing with broken glass, we can go through and you can see any kind of shards that are left over down in little places. I keep this thing in my pocket every day. It goes with my wallet, so you'd be surprised how often you use a flashlight when you have it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove these bolts. Immediately get a flashlight. So the glass that we got a replacement from was from BAM. I can't remember the name of it. It's BAM something. I'll put a link in the description. BAM Wholesale, I believe. They do Toyota OEM parts. They were the cheapest with delivery, with shipping. I think it was like $176 shipped for this. So it was worth it to us not to file a insurance claim because we have a $500 deductible, and you know how that goes. So we just decided to go ahead and take the shot on doing this, even though I haven't done one of these before on this kind of car. You know, just for a video, just see if we could do it. I mean, all else fails, you can just drive it in with the window down and have them fix it. Worst case scenario. And this should slide straight out. Toyotas are generally super easy to work on. It's from our experience with them, you know, in our little garage. The RAV, the Toyota, I've worked on a few other, you know, French cars that are Toyotas. Super simple. And so they make so many of them, they can put them together fast, they work forever. I'm gonna put the rubber seals back in across here and down, because once you get this window in, you're not gonna be able to put this seal back down in the channel. Okay, so we're just popping this back in. It pulled out super easy. It's not held in by any screws or anything, so I'm just going to use one of the little plastic tools in the kit just to pop everything back in. How easy this just popped back into place, and I just kind of push it up. We're going to go ahead and leave this loose so that whenever we reinstall everything, this will basically be the last thing that slides in. Okay, so here's the box that the window came in from BAM. I was a little suspect about it because it is only just two pieces of cardboard taped together, and it arrived just like this. So that was pretty crazy, but it's the OEM Toyota glass. You see it here, it's the exact same as the one that was just shattered. It's tinted from the factory, and so we're just going to slide this back down in there, put our two bolts in, here. Just going to ease this down. Make sure that's slot on the other side, which it is. So now I can let go of it. It's in the channel already. So this is actually like super easy. So I'm going to put these 2 bolts in it. We're going to go ahead and lower our window down as low as it'll go, and then we will reassemble our windows, put our trim back on, and do the doors, and it should be fairly easy. So I just threaded it in by hand. I'm just going to give it a little snug. And then we're going to ease the window up. Right. Okay, so that works, no problem. Come on down. Stop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up just a little bit more. I don't know what the torque specs are on this. I'm not going to over tighten it. Whatever that is. Okay, so go ahead and lower the window down. Ready? Down. All the way. Okay. Alright, so the window's down all the way. We know that it goes up. We know that it goes down. So we're going to go ahead and reassemble this. Okay, so now we're going to do the start the reassembly. We're going to go ahead and put our fixed window back in. Now all you have to do is just literally pull it back into place to where it's snug. We'll put our channel back in. Slide it back up into place. So what I want to go ahead and do is pop our rubber guide back down in place. This is me hoping it works. Let's see. Maybe better. I don't know. I'm just trying things right now. Learning together, folks. Whoops, it's small. Okay. That's smart, but it works. Okay. Okay, so we've got this channel here, and it's kind of hard to get pushed in because the window is still moving, so we don't have the bolts in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just start these 2 bolts by hand, and then I'm going to put the screw in up top. Okay, so I had to get, you just got to get the right angle to get this screw back on the top. But it will go. So just go ahead and chuck your weather stripping back in. Don't forget it. So that's back on. We've got our weather strip in. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these. I'm just going to tighten them by hand, and then we're going to run the window up and down again and make sure that there's no pinching or anything. You can also follow, if you see them, there's washer marks there. Generally, if you can put your washers back in the same spot, then you'll have good alignment. So we'll go ahead and try that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and roll the window back up and then back down. Auto down. Auto up. And auto down. Okay, looks smooth. We're going to go ahead and tighten the these 2 bolts up. Go ahead and put a final snug on it. Okay, so we've got all of our lower rubber back in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put our vapor barrier back up. As long as you have coverage all the way around, and it's still sticky everywhere, you should be fine. I don't see any reason to have to replace the tar. Okay, so we're just going back in reverse order. Go ahead and run your door handle back through. Kind of hard to catch, but it's easy. Alright, so it just pops back in. Make sure that any of your wires are pulled out through. Okay, so we're going to put our 3 screws in. Okay, so we're going to put the spec on. And remember, we're going to slide it from the back on. Just push firm. Since we have the lighted bowls, we're going to slide this down. Pop it back in place. Remember the front hook goes in first and it just pops down. Okay, so we're going to try this up and down one more time, and we'll also turn on our lights, show you our lighted switches and the underbowl lighting for your handles. We've got other videos that we'll link in the description that you can check those out if you want to take a look at them. Okay, here is, you can see the LED blue lights underneath the door handles. Also, the blue lights on our light switch. It's pretty nice. One touch. Okay. Well, guys, that was our first time doing this. We appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, we try and get to every one of them and answer them. We'll see you guys later. Bye.